I will.
Nancy
From
I was going to say, is Nancy coming tonight? I guess she is.
She'll be the one to do it.
That's all you come in. So you come in.
oh, so they're invested.
Yeah, I actually
They're invested.
Oh, it'll be interesting.
Come on, dorky little things.
This is a regular meeting of the City of Sandy Springs Planning Commission. This is a 7-member board appointed by the City of Sandy Springs, Mayor and City Council, created for the purpose of holding public hearings and making recommendations on rezonings, use permits, concurrent variance applications, comprehensive land use plans, plan maps, and amendments to the zoning ordinance. I will now take roll call. Chairman, Lee Duncan. Here. Wayne Thatcher. Here. Donald Boykin. Susan Major. David Rubenstein.
Here.
Roger Rubnow.
Here.
Al Pond.
Here.
The petitions will be heard in the sequence listed on the posted agenda. I would like to acquaint you with some of the rules and procedures of this meeting. The applicant and all those speaking in support of the application will be allowed a total of 10 minutes to present their petition. The applicant may choose to save some of the time for rebuttal following the presentation by the opposition. The opposition will be allowed a total of 10 minutes to present its position. The city shall not be obligated to provide a full 10-minute period to the opposition if they elect not to use their full time. Since the burden of proof is upon the applicant will be allowed to make closing remarks provided time remains within the allotted time. The staff of the Department of Community Development will keep track of time and will inform you periodically of remaining time for your presentation. Each speaker must fill out a speaker card before speaking and leave it with a staff member of the Department of Community Development. All speakers will identify themselves by name, address, and organization, if applicable, before beginning their presentation. Each application has been properly filed with the Department of Community Development. Signs have been posted on each site. The matter has been advertised and notices have been mailed to property owners affected by the zoning as required by the Sandy Springs zoning ordinance. The Planning Commission's recommendations will be forwarded to the City of Sandy Springs Mayor and City Council for final disposition. The Mayor and City Council hearing will be held approximately 4 weeks from this hearing on the 3rd Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. in the council chambers located in this building. The Planning and Zoning Division of the Department of Community Development has received each application in conjunction with various agencies and departments, both internal and external of the city. Staff recommendations, findings, and conclusions are here before us in written form, which has been made available to all petitioners and to the public. Demonstrations of any sort within the chambers is prohibited, so please refrain from any applause, dialogue with the person speaking, or outburst. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on silent. All remarks will be addressed by the Planning Commission. Please show the same respect to the person speaking that you would expect to receive yourself. In addition, the applicant shall not submit material to the Planning Commission during the meeting unless requested to do so by the Commission. All materials that you wish to be reviewed by the Commission in consideration of your application should be submitted to the staff of the Department of Community Development to be included in the normal distribution of packages to the Commission. Finally, to the applicant, if the petition is deferred in accordance with the Sandy Springs zoning ordinance, you are required to obtain a new sign for reposting. Failure to repost results in further delays. There are no exceptions. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to get a motion to get an agenda approved, please.
So moved. Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Mr. Rupnow and Mr. Rubenstein, those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any public comment cards? Thank you. And approval of the previous meeting's minutes. Any comments, corrections, or motion to approve? Let's not everybody jump in on this at one time now.
Well, I move we accept the minutes.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Cesar?
First case. Use permit 09-001 and use permit 09-002 for property located at 5855 Riverside Drive. The The applicant is St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church. One use permit is to allow for the expansion of the existing church, and the other use permit is to allow for the expansion of the existing school.
Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Ellen Smith. I'm with Holt Mays, Zach and Wasserman, 100 Galleria Parkway, Suite 600, Atlanta, Georgia, 30339. I have the pleasure this evening of representing the St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church and Tabula Rasa, the Language Academy, with respect to the use permits to expand the existing school building and to increase enrollment at the foreign language school. Your staff has recommended deferral of this matter out of abundance of caution to ensure compliance with legal notice requirements. And we join in that deferral request. But I also just wanted to take a few minutes of your time to introduce this matter. I know it's been before you before. I read the minutes, although I wasn't before you when it was here in March, to clarify the request and give you a little bit of background. And I appreciate you giving me the time to do so. I also want to just tell you what's happened with the request since you've heard it. I appreciate that when y'all heard this matter in March, there were a number of issues that came up. Just before that meeting, staff advised the applicant that they had a deferral recommendation to allow the staff and the applicant to get together on what the enrollment was and what the composition of the student body of the school was. And the applicant agreed with that deferral request. They mistakenly believed that if that deferral request were made before you, that they shouldn't give you a full presentation, and they weren't fully prepared, and we apologize for that confusion and want to give you a little bit of background now. This property is approximately 10 acres. It's located at the southeast intersection of I-285 and Riverside Drive. This church has operated on the property for almost 50 years. I assure you, because there have been questions, the church is alive, the congregation is well, and they will continue to operate a church at this property, whether this school use is there or not. The church members are present, a number of them tonight, and they fully support their association with this school, but they also want you to know that their church is alive and well, and they consider operating with this school one of their community outreach membership goals. And the church associated with Tabula Rasa to allow the school to operate out of the church building because the church had existing classrooms that weren't being used, and they consider this a good use. Tabula Rasa started in 2001 in a private Cobb County residence. It started teaching adults foreign languages. The couple who started the program, between the two of them, speak 10 foreign languages. Their daughter, who is 6, now speaks 4 languages fluently. They reside here in the city of Sandy Springs. They operated out of their home in Cobb County. They moved their location to a Cobb County location, and then in 2007 they moved to the church property. They have an existing use permit, and they operate in compliance with that existing use permit. I know that there were a number of questions about that at your last hearing. First of all, with respect to compliance, this is a complex matter. There are state laws that govern private schools, if you want to call it a daycare, if you want to call it child care. Those state laws don't necessarily match up with the definitions that are in the zoning ordinance of Sandy Springs. Both the Sandy Springs staff and the school have met with the state. There have been a number of meetings individually together to ensure that the school's operations meet all of the requirements, both on a state and local level. We want to assure you that we are operating in compliance with state law. The programs are accredited with quality. We've provided copies of state license exemptions as well as accreditations to the city. So I just want to let you hear that. With respect to the city permit compliance, as you know and heard, there's a maximum of 60 children allowed. And I appreciate fully that there was concern as to the applicant's position that this